80% of falls in the home occur in the bathroom. Don't put yourself or a loved one at risk. There's a safe bathing system for everyone's budget.
Enjoy a bathing experience that combines safety, comfort, and excellence. If assisted living is not for you, a BCI walk-in tub may well be the answer, giving you the safety and freedom to live independently. A BCI walk-in tub is the most affordable and comfortable walk-in tub in the market today. With our dual drain technology, your tub will drain quickly, and for those that still like the feature of a shower, our two-way bliss gives you both a handheld and overhead shower head. We offer the best financing in the industry with payments as low as $99 per month or no interest, no payments for 18 months with approved credit. For comfort, safety, price, and selection, it's got to be BCI Walk-In Tub. Be one of the first 50 callers and save $1,500.
Call 800-354-4377, 800-354-4377 for a free no obligation in-home consultation.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sportsbook. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E. Make your first wager of $20 or more and you'll get $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when your first wager on Borgata Sports is $20 or more. Get into the action with BorgataSports.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Welcome to another edition of the Turnpike Sports Book Report. I'm Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We're going to give you a whip-around look at some of the sports betting news stories that occurred over the past week. In our national and state reports segment, we're going to be talking about the American Gaming Association. They just released their third quarter commercial gaming revenue tracker.
Yeah, very interesting numbers.
Very, very interesting numbers. We've got the October numbers for the state of New York. We've got highlights from other states around the country, and even some discussion about the Mattress Mac payout. Mm-hmm. In the deals segment, we've got deals involving Better, BETR. We've also got a couple Canadian deals to talk about and an Australian deal for Sportradar. Industry updates. We've got news coming out of New Jersey, Canada again. We've got Jackpocket in a new state. And we're going to finish up the show with the legislative roundup with news out of North Dakota, Ohio, and California. The election results, everyone knows what happened there.
Yeah.
So let's get right to it. Press releases, info@turnpikesportsradio.com is the email address to send the news reports to. We'll start off right now with our numbers segment. Well, like I said, we have the third quarter commercial gaming revenue tracker that was just released recently by the American Gaming Association. Some very interesting numbers have come out of the third quarter for the United States commercial gaming industry. According to the American Gaming Association's revenue tracker, we have 2 straight quarters of record revenue.
I know. It looks like every sector of the gaming industry is doing great. I mean, sports betting, commercial gaming, it's just great.
Well, the third quarter, the nationwide commercial gaming revenue, according to the American Gaming Association's tracker, reached $15.17 billion in the third quarter of this year. That's a 2% growth from the previous quarter. It was about 15.13 billion in the second quarter of this year. And that's commercial gaming revenue from traditional casino games, the sports betting side of the industry, as well as iGaming. Overall, we have the third quarter gaming revenue accelerated 8.8% year over year, outpacing the entire nation's economy. The nation's economy grew at 2.6%. The gaming revenue grew at 8.8%. So we're seeing faster growth in the gaming industry than we are seeing overall in the country.
These numbers make what happened in California just unbelievable. I mean, you're throwing away all this money. I mean, it's just... I know the Native American tribes were rejoicing in the downfall of those 2 propositions in California, but, seriously, at one point, California has to really pull the trigger on sports betting because they're just losing tons of money.
Well, if you look at what happened in the third quarter, we have 5 states, 5 of the country's 6 largest commercial gaming markets set single quarter records.
Yeah.
All-time records. We have Indiana, $728 million in revenue, Michigan, $796, Nevada and New York and Pennsylvania all crossed the billion-dollar plateau, and Nevada went $3.77 billion in the quarter, which is an amazing number for Nevada.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Nationwide sports betting revenue did reach $1.68 billion, surpassing the previous quarterly high set in the first quarter of this year. According to the American Gaming Association's report, Americans bet $15.99 billion on sports in the third quarter.
That's unbelievable.
That's almost 41% year over year. So
I know,
that's showing the growth of the industry in the sports betting.
Well, I would guess that's an indication of how many states jumped on the sports betting bandwagon. I mean, there's more and more states every year. I mean, these numbers are going to be dwarfed by next year's numbers because there are some big states, I mean, especially Ohio, coming online with sports betting, and I think it's going to be an incredible market, and these numbers are going to shoot through the roof.
I'm expecting,
like they haven't shot through the roof already.
I'm actually expecting the fourth quarter to set a new record again. So it'll be fun to watch when that report comes out from the American Gaming Association. Ready to talk some states?
Sure.
We've got New York. Like we always start off with New York, the October numbers. Mobile handle of $1.353 billion, just a little over that. Over $147 million in revenue. That's gross gaming, adjusted gaming revenue, because you have to give 51% of the state to taxes, was $72.5 million. Taxes were $75 million, over $75 million, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And they almost hit an 11% hold.
Yeah.
Which is, if you think about it, everyone in the country is hitting 10% or more, just about. There's a couple states out there that aren't, but you're looking at.
Someone told me this was a historic hold.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
We're looking at.
We're on uncharted territory in the hold situation here in this country.
I remember seeing September's hold numbers. It was they were 12, 13% in September. October's numbers are just starting to come out here, like I said, and we've got in terms of New York, and if you look at the monthly numbers from New York, 8 out of 10 months. The handle's been more than $1 billion. It's the 6th time the gross gaming revenue has been over $100 million, and the 2nd straight month of $100 million in gross gaming revenue as well. Adjusted gaming revenue, it's the 2nd straight month of more than $70 million. See, that's the key figure there for the operators.
Yeah.
Highest monthly tax revenue for the state as well, 2nd straight month of $70 million. That $75 million tax revenue is going to be a very talked about number.
Sure.
So in the coming months, when people are talking about how they're going to lower the tax rate, or they want to, I don't know if you're going to convince the state to do that just yet.
Yeah, they're just making too much money. And this is another indication. If California ever jumped into the sports betting bandwagon, they'd have these numbers. They'd have double these numbers, I would think. But well, I guess we have to wait a couple more years for California.
Yep. And last numbers for New York, fiscal year for 2022, which began the week of April 4th. The fiscal year's handle passed $8 billion, and all time is $13 billion. It's over $13 billion in handle. So that the mobile industry is just an amazing juggernaut.
Yeah,
for lack of a better word. Over in Oregon, we have their October sports betting report came out. They had all-time monthly handle and revenue highs. They had a $55.5 million handle, give or take a couple bucks, and a $5.8 million revenue.
Yeah.
The state's handle is the first time that state has topped $50 million in monthly handle.
Wow.
Which is nice to see.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And
congratulations.
Oregon right now is DraftKings.
Yeah.
When DraftKings took over, we saw an increase in the numbers.
You probably don't have these numbers, but Oregon is one of those states that just loves their table tennis, like Colorado is. Do you have those numbers, or
they haven't released the breakdowns?
Okay,
like
they
that
haven't really. Okay,
no,
but I'm always interested whenever you say Colorado or Oregon. I always want to see the table tennis because for some weird, bizarre reason that fascinates me. How much they bet on table tennis.
West Virginia reported its second straight month of record revenue, fourth time its monthly revenue passed the $6 million mark. And also in Delaware recorded its highest handle in October, $13.5 million, since November of 2021. That was 15.57. That's still the highest.
Delaware was always a strange sports betting state for me because prior to PASPA, there was sports betting in Delaware, but it was parlay betting, which means you only do parlays there. So that was a very interesting. I remember going to a sports book in Delaware, the Delaware. We saw a NASCAR race at the
Dover
Speedway.
Dover Park,
I forgot which one that was.
Dover Downs.
Dover Downs. Yeah, we sat in the sports book, and you can only do parlay betting, so which was odd.
And last for the numbers segment here, Mattress Mac won his $75 million wager. Yeah. Congratulations to the book, because that was a lot of good publicity for the sports betting industry.
Sure.
According to reports, a lot of the numbers that were given out by the books, the wins to Mattress Mac, were kind of interesting to see exactly how much they amounted to, because one report had that Unibet was basically paid out an amount equal to 80% of their third quarter gross win. Caesars paid out about 14% of their digital revenues from third quarter. Yeah. Betfred, there's conflicting reports, but the amount that they paid out to Mattress Mac was, according to some analysts, more than they've made in the U.S. So that's kind of an interesting number. Yeah. I don't know how accurate that number is, but the fact that this amount of money was paid out is just staggering.
Yeah. And you know what? Good for the books. You know, they paid it out. Well, they took the bet, they paid it out, and
exactly.
That's So I think they, like you said, I think they made a lot of. I guess basically what it was is great publicity for the books. That's what they were paying for.
Exactly.
That should be their advertising budget.
Let's head on over some deals.
You know what I'm saying? In front of everybody. Oh. Game starts at 20, bet slip is empty. I gotta call KG.
KG, what up?
I got nothing for you, Fox.
Come on. What you got, huh?
And it's spa day, Jamie. You don't interrupt spa day.
Okay. Gracie, what's up?
I need some tips.
Jamie, you want a tip? Yeah.
No.
Come on, somebody. Jalen, what's up, man?
You want a tip?
Yeah. You really want a tip? I really need some tips.
Don't call somebody on live TV, Jamie Foxx.
Well, you answer. Have other friends anyway. Marshawn, Barry, holla.
Jamie Foxx. Hey, what's up with it, Fox?
Listen, I need some tips.
I like L.A.
L.A.?
No, Dallas. Dallas not the
Dallas?
We gotta get to Miami. How about Detroit? Nah, Barry over there.
You know what? I'm gonna call y'all right back. Vanessa, I need your help.
I got a tip for you. Always go with your gut.
I like that. Going with my gut. Let's go with our gut.
A couple of deals to talk about this week. We have Better, B-E-T-R, the sports betting operator that was launched by Joe Levy and Jake Paul. They announced a partnership with Caesars Southern Indiana. They plan on launching real money micro betting in Indiana in the coming months. And the partnerships between Better, Caesars Southern Indiana, and the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians, which is the company that runs Caesars Southern Indiana.
Okay.
So it was supposed to be it was supposedly a equity-based partnership where no money changed hands, but EBCI, the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians, became one of Better's largest shareholders. Okay. So that's going to be interesting to watch down the road to see how that I don't want to say the word parlay, but turns, what happens with that kind of partnership in that area.
Well, look, micro betting is becoming huge. Yes. I mean, that is such a great way, especially in the NFL, because, it's been extremely difficult this year to pick winners, and just an incredible amount of unders are going, lots of upsets. Yes. And the way a lot of bettors are making, making money on the NFL or helping out their losses or covering their losses is micro betting and
Yes.
betting in play, tickets and things like that. So it's going to be huge, and I think it's going to be even bigger.
It's going to be fun to watch better
yeah.
how it expands across the country, too.
Oh, I love micro betting.
Going up to Canada, we got a pair of deals coming out of the northern part of North America there. We've got NorthStar Bets and Bet365 involved in deals. We have NorthStar Bets doing a regional partnership with the National Basketball Association in Ontario. NorthStar became an authorized gaming operator of the NBA in that province. So you're going to be able to see the NBA marks and logos on the sportsbook all across NorthStar Bets. You're also going to be seeing real-time NBA data being distributed by NorthStar Bets.
Great.
And they're also going to collaborate on helping protect integrity of NBA games. And so it's kind of interesting to see the NBA making more and more deals in Ontario with some of these other new Canadian operators.
Canada is incredible. I
Yes.
mean, the news coming out of Canada and Ontario, and just I don't even know when was it March that they launched their sports betting?
I believe it was April.
Yeah, when I say launched online betting, they launched online everything, online poker and online casinos and online sports books. I mean, it's just been incredible.
Well, going to the other deal, I mentioned Bet365.
Yep.
By the way, Bet365 is one of the most popular ones up there. It's not in the United States, and I think Bet365 was one of the gray market operators. That's the phrase they used. They are now a regulated one. They're still one of the more popular ones up there.
Well, I've seen commercials for Bet365 in New York.
Yes.
So, Bet365 is huge. I mean, around the world. I mean, they're big in Europe and things like that. So, no, that's great. Bet365. It seems logical that Bet365 would be in Canada.
Well, Bet365 is expanding their partnership with Bays Esports. They are now going to include esports betting in the Canadian market.
See, that's great. We just had a story on Bays Esports.
Yes.
I think it was the initial partnership with 365. And now I guess they're in Canada, huh?
It was also the partnership between Bays and one of the gaming publishers. They get direct data from the publisher.
Yeah, I think
so that's going to be part of this expansion with Bet365.
Bays Esports making news every week, huh?
Bays is one of those companies that is really they're in the growth industry of esports betting.
Yeah.
And it's a data company, it's a betting company, it's a platform.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting to watch them expand because they also want to start expanding in the United States as well as Canada. So, last but not least for the segment, Sportradar. Now, I teased at the top they did an Australian deal. This is a multi-year partnership with Baseball Australia. You don't hear too much about baseball from Australia. You hear more about football, soccer, rugby, Australian rules football, and but you don't hear too much about baseball. And what this deal is going to be doing is they're going to be developing a dedicated OTT platform broadcast for Australian Baseball League games.
Okay, good.
No one's ever done this before for the Australian Baseball League.
You know, I see any kind of sports show lately, and if you wait till the end of the credits, you'll see Sportradar logo there. So, they're everywhere.
Oh, Sportradar, you can't miss that logo now on broadcasts.
It feels like they've done deals with pretty much everyone now.
Well,
so it's incredible.
It's not just data that they do, is that ads, that advertising marketing platform.
Sure.
Because some of the leagues have them going out to get the advertising deals.
Yeah, okay.
So they're going to be everywhere for not just data, but marketing as well. And here they're going to be working with Baseball Australia, like I said. They're going to also have Sportradar become the exclusive betting data and audio-visual rights distribution partner of the ABL.
Good.
So we're going to be starting to see a lot more Australian Baseball League games, obviously. And On Demand is going to be launching a dedicated app for this league.
Great. All right. Good.
So it'll be interesting to.
I got to be perfectly honest.
I'm wondering how important Australian baseball is going to be to the U.S. market.
I was just about to say I don't think I've ever seen a Australian baseball game. Hey, I'm interested now. You got me something I don't think about all the time, but now you got me thinking about it. Yeah, I'd check it out.
Well, it may take over from the darts leagues out there, so I don't know.
Darts
But
league, yeah.
it'll be fun to see exactly where Sportradar can go with this. It'll grow the Australian baseball market, definitely.
I wonder if you can bet on Australian baseball in the U.S. Can you do that? I guess you have to check market by market, I guess.
I think with Sportradar involved, at some point, that market will be available in the United States.
So, okay, I'll check it out.
Let's head on over to some industry updates. Looking around the country, we've got one story coming out of New Jersey, XPoint, which is a competitor of GeoComply in the geolocation industry. They have announced a partnership with Mojo, the sports stock market that was created by Alex Rodriguez and a few other sports figures, as well as tech individuals.
Interesting. Okay.
They're going to be doing...
I've never heard of XPoint, and I'm not real sure what Mojo is. I've never checked them out. I've heard of Mojo, but I've never really checked them out. So now, I got to... So what is it? You just... When you say Mojo, what is it?
Mojo is the sports stock market.
Okay.
Basically, it's not it's a betting platform, but it's more along the lines of like
you're investing in players kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Okay.
And XPoint's real money gaming product, XPoint Verify, will be powering Mojo in New Jersey. Both are licensed there. As you may remember, XPoint was in the news not too long ago because of a infringement suit that was brought against them by GeoComply. That's still going on.
Okay.
But again, this XPoint Verify is partnered with another product that they have called XPoint Lite, which is a big a geolocation product used by the fantasy sports industry.
I gotta tell you, I'm always fascinated by the technology with regard to geolocation, things like that. I mean, when we first started gambling online in New Jersey in 2013, I always tell this story. I can play online poker or online casinos in the living room of my house, but when I walk back to my bedroom, the geolocation
it's changed
software
so much since then.
But that was in 2013. I mean, now it's absolutely incredible. They can tell exactly where you are. I think they had one. You did a story where how many people were betting in a particular stadium, which is incredible. I don't know if they had that technology in 2013. So it's an incredible thing for the online community to see the evolution of this geolocation software.
Well, you got to remember, this is 9 years into using GeoComply, these types of industry. The geolocation industry has been around 9 years now, and the leaps and bounds that they've gone through is just amazing.
Yeah, I should have worn my GeoComply hat. I was at a seminar. I got 2 GeoComply baseball hats. So, and I told them that their technology is phenomenal, and how it's advanced over the 9 years they've been around, and how long I've been playing online in New Jersey. So, it's incredible.
Well, we've got, moving off from New Jersey, we've got news coming out of Michigan. We've got DraftKings launching their first retail sportsbook in Michigan.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
At the Bay Mills Resort and Casino. So that's their first retail book there. Over in Ohio, we have the Major League Soccer team, FC Cincinnati, announcing that their temporary home for its sports betting facility will be at Taft's Ale House.
I love that. I'm waiting for something like that to happen in New Jersey. I'm waiting for a sports book to take up shop in a sports bar or a. Where is this one out now?
This is Ohio.
Ohio.
It's a couple blocks away from TQL Stadium, which is where they play in Cincinnati.
But is it an ale house? What's it called? An ale house? That's so great.
Taft's Ale House on Ray Street.
So are they actually going to have windows? I know one in Pennsylvania, the Malvern Chicky and Pete's, they just don't have kiosks. They actually have windows.
That's what you're going to see there. They're going to have windows and kiosks in the downstairs bar area.
Wow, that's awesome.
And they're anticipating that's going to be a few years in operation before they build a retail book in their stadium.
Okay.
So we'll see exactly how long really that time frame is going to be.
See, I hope they keep that there. In the
it's probably
Ale
going
House.
to be there.
I love stuff like that.
I can't see them not keeping it in the Ale House.
They should. They should.
Jackpocket has launched in its 14th state, which is West Virginia.
Wow. Okay.
So they are now live across 14 different states in the United States, and they just keep growing. And as the lottery keeps growing too, I mean, we just had a $2 billion jackpot.
Yeah, right.
So, and as a matter of fact, they had two $1 million winners on the November 2nd drawing.
Wow.
So I don't know how many they had from the November 7th drawing yet.
Yeah.
So, but they had $1 million winners.
I'm still buying my lottery the old-fashioned way. I think I was in a supermarket that I walked down to the corner store and stuff like that to get some tickets there. So So I'm still old school when it comes to lottery.
Well, we're going back up to Canada for the last two stories. We've got the Score Bet. They're going to be rolling out live in-game single-game parlays in Ontario this month.
Okay.
And we also have the first legal regulated online gaming platform in Saskatchewan.
Oh, okay.
It's on the playnow.com platform, and it's going to be managed by, and I'm going to read through this list, managed by Sask Gaming, operated by the Saskatchewan Indian Gaming Authority, regulated by the Saskatchewan Liquor and Gaming Authority, and uses the British Columbia Lottery Corporation's playnow.com platform. Okay. So it's a full-blown effort by lots of different places up there.
That's a lot of wheels in motion there, but good for them.
And it's going to have 500 casino games, or over 500 casino games, and also a full suite of sports betting operations.
Great.
That's it for the industry updates segment. Let's head on over to our legislative roundup. Some news coming out of North Dakota. We've got North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum approving 5 new gaming compacts with the state Native American tribes that include sports betting within the casinos.
Wow, cool.
The tribes had wanted a addendum or an addition to the compacts for online sports betting outside of the casinos, and that was rejected. So it's going to be strictly within a retail setting, and maybe even, I don't know if it's going to have online inside the casinos.
I was going to ask
it's going to be within the casinos.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because there was one jurisdiction where, they said they had online, but it was only online within the premises or within the casino. So yeah. I'm trying to remember what that was. But,
I can tell you right now.
Okay. What was it? Mississippi. Okay.
They had BetMGM live in one of the casinos for a while. So, I think that's what you're going to see develop in North Dakota.
Technically you can say they have it online, but not really.
You can call it online.
If you can bet at home, that means you have it online.
Well,
if you
that's
have to
different.
Be in the casino, then you're not online.
Well, that's what they want.
That's my feeling.
The Native American tribes had wanted online sports betting and online gaming outside the casinos as part of the compact. That was rejected. The compacts still have to go through final state and federal approval before they're in play right now. But, it's a step forward for North Dakota.
Okay.
Actually, if you think about it, North Dakota and South Dakota have really interesting setups. Only Deadwood has sports betting in South Dakota.
Yeah.
Now North Dakota is just going to have sports betting inside their casinos.
When you say Deadwood only has the gambling and the sports betting and things like that, you think of it like Deadwood as a Wild West kind of town.
I still
People
do.
rolling into playing a poker game or do betting on sports and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're sitting there playing a game and you have a tumbleweed rolled by.
Good,
so, But that's what's going on in North Dakota. We've got Ohio.
I want to do that. I want to say I gambled
Deadwood?
in Deadwood. You know,
I bet you they have T-shirts that say that.
One of my gambling bucket lists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going over to Ohio, we know Ohio is going to be launching the first of the new year coming up. At this time, we have 21 of 23 online sports betting applicants that have been conditionally approved by the Ohio Casino Control Commission.
My question is, did they approve the high school?
No.
Because just to fill people in, there was a high school that filled out a sports betting application. I'm just curious to see if the state, as of yet, allow that.
They're one of only 2 that haven't been approved right now.
They're still in the pipeline, though,
They're still in the pipeline.
Okay.
The application was submitted July 15th.
All right.
So they were one of the earliest ones to submit an application.
A high school, huh? High school. You get the. It's. I'm all for sports betting, but maybe we have to think about a high school having a sports betting license.
Well, and 20 of 27 retail betting applications have been approved. Okay. And again, the high school, the Spire Institute, is one of the ones that was not approved yet.
Oh, is that it? The Spire Institute?
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
So Spire Institute.
It's a pretty lofty name for a high school. The Spire Institute?
It has to deal more. It's more almost like a sports academy if you think about it.
Right.
So it kind of makes sense.
So it's not technically a high school?
It's a high school. It's a high school.
Okay.
It's a high school. Don't kid yourself. It's a high school.
All right.
But it's more geared towards sports than anything else. And as everyone knows, last but not least, here we have California.
Yes.
The voters have spoken, and both Proposition 26, which was retail betting in the Native American casinos, and Proposition 27, which is the online sports betting proposition, both have been resoundingly rejected by the voters.
Okay, I'm hearing 2 theories of why it was rejected. Number one, it was too complicated. You know, the questions were just confusing a lot of people, and that's why what someone said. I'm not sure about that because I'm not in California and I'm not hearing what everyone's saying. And the second one is everyone got just pissed off about the enormous amount of advertising. I mean, was that it? Was that a backlash?
They both contributed to it. If you think about the spending on these 2 propositions, set a record for. They had over $460 million.
But it kind of sounds like that everyone was kind of just, hey, you know what? Enough already. I'm mad. It's just overwhelming. I can't go anywhere without seeing these advertisements. I'm voting against these proposals just because I'm tired of seeing the advertising.
Well, the one thing I really think the misstep was for the online Proposition 27. Mm-hmm. I think the online sports betting operators probably made the mistake of not making nice with the tribal gaming authority in the state because a lot of people underestimate how powerful the Native American tribes are in California, and I think in the next couple of years you're going to see it back in 2024 or 2025. Don't worry about that.
And from what I hear, the California professional sports teams really weren't on board with it, or they weren't endorsing it, and so. You know, maybe next time get those endorsements before you start really I mean, their advertising would be more effective if, say, like the Dodgers or the San Francisco Giants or the 49ers were backing these proposals.
Well, think about it this way. The professional sports teams in California all have deals with Native American tribe casinos.
Okay. All right.
So there's a little, conflict there where if they wanted to support the online sports betting, that may annoy some of their current sponsors, and they got to take that into effect. I mean, they want sports betting. Don't kid yourself. The sports teams want sports betting. I think there's got to be some kind of compromise proposition they got to come up with that includes Native American tribes, as well as the online sports betting operators from around the country.
California is the golden goose for sports betting. I mean, it's huge. It just geographically, it's huge. It's got tons of huge cities. It's got tons of sports, professional and college. And,
I think it has the most.
And it has the most population. Yeah. And when you have a population that big, you're going to have huge numbers in sports. Just look at what's happening in New York. The numbers in California would make New York's numbers look tiny compared to what California can do with regard to sports betting. So
that's a very interesting statement there because it just blows my mind. New York is a huge market right now.
Sure. And California
being dwarfed by California, that is something to see.
New York's numbers would be dwarfed by California's numbers.
Well, again,
So,
there's got to be
that's
some.
what I was trying to say before.
There's got to be some kind of compromise proposition coming down the road here that would make it work. But again, I think
they're not going to give up on California.
No.
I know the sports betting operators are not going to give up on California.
But
so,
you got to find a way to work together to get sports betting pushed. Pushed through.
The propositions fail all the time.
Yes.
I think New Jersey's first time they had it. I don't know how many years ago that failed.
Yeah.
So
that's it for this week's book report. Again, keep the press releases coming in at info@turnpikesportsradio.com. If you're following along on TV, the news ticker had additional stories that we hadn't had a chance to cover in this 30-minute segment. Also, the full book report for this week will be up on the blog. Head on over to turnpikesports.us and click on the blog button, and you'll see a full print version, including stories that were in the ticker, including the stories we covered on air, and even more stories that we didn't have a chance to cover in the time allotted here in print form there. So please, info@turnpikesportsradio.com. Follow the show at Turnpike Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Turnpike Sports Radio on Instagram, and also we have the alternate Twitter handle at Turnpike Bets.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.